The discovery. In the vast expanse of space, where countless stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across black velvet, humanity had finally taken its first tentative steps beyond the solar system. It was the year 2157, and Earth's colonies dotted nearby star systems, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Yet, for all their technological advances, they had yet to encounter any sign of intelligent alien life. That was about to change. Dr. Aria Chen stood at the viewport of the research station orbiting Kepler 442 bits, her dark eyes fixed on the blue-green planet below. At 36, she was already one of Earth's foremost xenoarchaeologists, dedicated to uncovering traces of ancient alien civilizations. For years, she had chased whispers and shadows across the cosmos, always coming up empty-handed. But now, her heart raced with excitement and trepidation. They had found something. Dr. Chen. A voice crackled over the intercom. The transport is ready. We're cleared for descent. Aria took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. On my way, she replied, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. As the shuttle broke through the planet's atmosphere, Aria reviewed the data on her tablet one last time. The initial scans had detected an energy signature unlike anything they had ever encountered before, emanating from deep within an ancient mountain range. Whatever it was, it defied their current understanding of physics. The shuttle touched down on a plateau overlooking a mist-shrouded valley. Aria was the first to step out, her boots crunching on the alien soil. The air was thin but breathable, with a faint metallic tang that tickled her nostrils. She took in the landscape. Twisted spires of rock jutted from the ground like the bones of long-dead giants, while strange, bioluminescent plants cast an eerie glow in the perpetual twilight. "It's beautiful," whispered Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's xenobiologist, as she joined Aria. "And terrifying." Aria nodded in agreement. "Let's get to work." The source of the energy signature should be about 2 kilometers northeast of here. The research team, consisting of a dozen specialists from various scientific disciplines, began their trek through the alien terrain. As they drew closer to their destination, their instruments began to behave erratically. Compasses spun wildly, and communication devices emitted bursts of static. "Something's interfering with our equipment," reported Dr. Marcus Webb, the team's physicist. His weathered face creased with concern. "The energy levels are off the charts." Aria felt a chill run down her spine that had nothing to do with the planet's cool temperature. "Stay alert, everyone. We don't know what we're dealing with here." They crested a ridge, and there, nestled in a natural amphitheater of stone, they saw it. A massive structure, easily the size of a skyscraper, rose before them. Its surface was a seamless, mirror-like material that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. Intricate patterns adorned its sides, pulsing with a soft, blue-white glow. "My God," Aria breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. It's beautiful." As the team cautiously approached the structure, they noticed that the ground around it was perfectly level, as if the very earth had been reshaped to accommodate the alien artifact. There were no visible entrances, no seams or joints in its construction. It appeared to be a single solid piece. Dr. Webb's instruments suddenly came to life, beeping urgently. "The energy readings are spiking. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. If I didn't know better, I'd say it's alive." No sooner had the words left his mouth than the surface of the structure began to ripple like water. The team stumbled back in shock as a section of the wall seemed to melt away, revealing a dark entrance. "It's inviting us in," Aria said, her voice barely above a whisper. Despite the protests of some team members, Aria knew they couldn't pass up this opportunity. With a mixture of fear and excitement, she led the way into the structure. As they crossed the threshold, lights flickered to life along the walls, illuminating a vast, circular chamber. The interior was just as awe-inspiring as the exterior. Holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing star maps and diagrams of incomprehensible complexity. In the center of the chamber stood a pillar of swirling energy, pulsing in time with the patterns on the walls. "This technology, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered," Dr. Tanaka said, her voice filled with awe. "It could revolutionize everything we know about science, about the universe itself." As the team spread out to examine different aspects of the chamber, Arya approached the central pillar. She felt drawn to it, as if it were calling to her. Reaching out, her fingers hovering just above its surface, she hesitated. "Dr. Chen, wait." Dr. Webb called out, but it was too late. The moment Arya's hand made contact with the pillar, a surge of energy coursed through her body. Images flooded her mind, stars being born and dying, civilizations rising and falling, and a looming darkness that threatened to engulf everything. She saw Earth, a tiny blue marble in the vast cosmos, and understood with sudden clarity that it was in terrible danger. Arya collapsed to the ground, gasping for air. The team rushed to her side, but before they could reach her, the chamber came to life. The holographic displays swirled and coalesced into a single massive image, a map of the galaxy, with Earth clearly marked. A voice, neither male nor female, neither young nor old, filled the chamber. It spoke in no language any of them recognized, yet they all understood its message perfectly. "Guardians have awakened. The test begins. Prove yourselves worthy or face extinction." As suddenly as it had appeared, the voice fell silent. The energy pillar pulsed once more, then dimmed. The team stood in stunned silence, trying to process what they had just experienced. Arya slowly got to her feet, her mind reeling from the visions she had seen. We need to contact Earth immediately," she said, her voice shaking. "Everything's about to change." In the days that followed, news of the discovery spread like wildfire across Earth and its colonies. Governments convened emergency sessions, religious leaders sought meaning in ancient texts, and the scientific community worked around the clock to analyze the data from Kepler 442 bits. Arya found herself at the center of a storm of attention and controversy. Some hailed her as a hero, the one who had made first contact with an alien intelligence. Others feared she had triggered some sort of alien doomsday device. Through it all, she couldn't shake the feeling that time was running out. 2 weeks after the initial discovery, Arya stood before the United Earth Council, the governing body that represented all of humanity's interstellar interests. The chamber was packed with delegates from every nation and colony, all eyes fixed on her as she delivered her report. "Distinguished delegates," Arya began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "The artifact we discovered on Kepler 442 bits is not just a relic of some long-dead civilization. It is, in fact, a test. A challenge posed to humanity by an intelligence far beyond our current understanding." Murmurs rippled through the crowd as Arya continued. "The visions I experienced when I touched the energy pillar showed me glimpses of our potential future. I saw wonders beyond imagination, but I also saw destruction on a cosmic scale. The artifact is offering us a choice, to prove ourselves worthy of joining a greater galactic community or to face annihilation." The chamber erupted in chaos as delegates shouted questions and demands. It took several minutes for order to be restored. When it was, Arya delivered the final piece of her report. "We have deciphered part of the message left within the artifact. It speaks of guardians, presumably the beings who created this test, and it gives us a time frame." She paused, letting the weight of her next words sink in. "We have 1 Earth year to prepare. After that, the test begins in earnest." The silence that followed was deafening. Then slowly, voices began to rise. Some called for immediate military mobilization, others for attempts at peaceful communication. Still others demanded isolation, a retreat from the stars and a focus on Earth's defenses. As the debate raged on, Arya's mind drifted back to the visions she had seen. The potential for humanity to achieve greatness was there, but so was the capacity for self-destruction. The choice, she realized, would not be made by governments or councils. It would be made by every human being, through their actions and decisions in the coming year. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance, and as Arya looked out at the faces of those who would shape humanity's response to this cosmic challenge, she felt a glimmer of hope. For in their eyes, she saw not just fear, but also determination, curiosity, and the indomitable human spirit that had carried their species to the stars. The test was coming, and humanity would face it together. The journey. As the massive starship Odyssey broke free from Earth's gravitational pull, Dr. Arya Chen felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The past year had been a whirlwind of preparation, debate, and frantic scientific advancement. Humanity had poured its resources into this mission. Their response to the cosmic challenge lay before them. Arya stood on the ship's observation deck, watching her home planet shrink to a pale blue dot. Beside her, Captain Zara Okoye, a decorated veteran of Earth's fledgling space fleet, placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Having second thoughts, Doctor?" Zara asked, her voice carrying a hint of amusement. Arya shook her head. "No, just contemplating the enormity of what we're about to do. We're not just exploring anymore, Captain. We're representing our entire species." Zara nodded, her expression turning serious. "Then let's make sure we put our best foot forward." The Odyssey's mission was twofold: to return to Kepler 442 bits and unlock more secrets of the alien artifact, and to establish first contact with any intelligent species they might encounter along the way. The ship carried a crew of 250, a mix of scientists, diplomats, and military personnel, representing the best Earth had to offer. As they settled into their journey, Arya immersed herself in studying the data they had gathered from the artifact. She worked closely with Dr. Yuki Tanaka and Dr. Marcus Webb, trying to decipher the complex symbols and energy patterns they had recorded. Weeks turned into months as the Odyssey traversed the vast emptiness of space. The crew maintained a rigorous schedule of training, research, and simulations to prepare for any possible scenario they might face. It was during one of these quiet periods that the ship's ARIA, Advanced Reconnaissance and Intelligence Assistant, detected an anomaly. Captain Okoye, ARIA's calm voice filled the bridge. "I've detected an unidentified object on an intercept course. It doesn't match any known natural phenomena or human spacecraft designs." The bridge erupted into controlled chaos as the crew sprang into action. Arya rushed to join them, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and anticipation. On screen, Zara commanded, her voice steady. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a sleek, silver vessel approaching rapidly. Its design was utterly alien, all curved surfaces and pulsing lights, with no visible propulsion system. "It's beautiful," Arya breathed, her xenoarchaeologist's mind already racing with questions. "And potentially deadly," Zara added grimly. "All hands, battle stations. Let's hope we don't need them." As the alien ship drew closer, it suddenly came to an abrupt stop, hanging in space less than a kilometer from the Odyssey. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then, without warning, a beam of shimmering energy lanced out from the alien vessel, enveloping the Odyssey. Alarms blared throughout the ship as systems began to fluctuate wildly. "They're scanning us," Dr. Webb reported, his fingers flying over his console. "But it's like nothing I've ever seen. They're not just reading our technology, they're probing our biology, our very DNA." Before anyone could react further, the energy beam disappeared. The alien ship hung motionless for a moment, then began to change shape, its surface rippling like liquid metal. When it stabilized, it had taken on an appearance eerily similar to the Odyssey, albeit with subtle alien characteristics. "They're mimicking us?" Arya suggested, her scientific curiosity momentarily overriding her fear. A new voice suddenly filled the bridge, a chorus of harmonics that somehow coalesced into recognizable speech. We are the mimics. You have entered our space. State your purpose or be destroyed. Captain Okoye stepped forward, her voice calm and authoritative. I am Captain Zara Okoye of the Earth ship Odyssey. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars. There was a pause, then the alien voice returned. Your words are familiar, but your minds are chaos. You seek that which you do not understand. You court danger. Arya felt a chill run down her spine. Somehow, these aliens knew about their mission, about the artifact. Taking a deep breath, she stepped forward. My name is Dr. Arya Chen. We've encountered a great challenge, a test set before us by beings we call the Guardians. We seek to understand, to prove ourselves worthy. Can you help us? Another long pause followed. The tension on the bridge was palpable. Finally, the Mimic ship responded. The Guardians' trials are not to be taken lightly. Many have tried, many have failed, but your species intrigues us. We will not hinder your journey, but neither will we aid you. Your worth must be proven by your own merits. With that, the Mimic ship shimmered and vanished, as if it had never been there at all. The encounter with the Mimics was just the first of many challenges the Odyssey would face on its journey. They navigated treacherous asteroid fields, survived the fury of a neutron star, and even managed to broker peace between two warring alien factions they encountered in a distant star system. Each trial tested not just their technology, but their ingenuity, compassion, and determination. Arya found herself constantly amazed by the crew's ability to adapt and overcome, often in ways she never would have imagined. But as they drew closer to Kepler 442 bits, tensions began to rise. The weight of their mission, the fate of humanity hanging in the balance, pressed down on them all. It came to a head one evening in the ship's mess hall. Dr. Tanaka and Lieutenant Ravi Kapoor, the head of security, were engaged in a heated argument about how to approach the artifact upon their return. We can't just go in guns blazing, Tanaka shouted, her usually calm demeanor shattered. This is a scientific mission, not a military operation. Kapoor's face reddened with anger. And what happens if the test turns out to be a trap? We need to be prepared for anything. The argument quickly escalated, drawing in other crew members. Soon, the mess hall was divided, with scientists on one side and military personnel on the other. Arya watched the scene unfold with growing dismay. This was exactly what they couldn't afford, division in the face of the unknown. Taking a deep breath, she climbed onto a table, raising her voice above the din. Enough. The room fell silent, all eyes turning to her. Look at us, Arya said, her voice thick with emotion. Fighting amongst ourselves when we should be united. We've come so far, faced so much together. Are we really going to let fear and mistrust tear us apart now? She looked around the room, meeting each person's gaze. The Guardians, whoever they are, set this test before us for a reason. They want to see what we're made of. And it's not our technology they're interested in, it's our humanity. Arya's words hung in the air, and she could see them sinking in. The anger and fear began to fade from people's faces, replaced by thoughtfulness and determination. We're not just scientists or soldiers, she continued. We're explorers, diplomats, problem solvers. We're the best Earth has to offer. And when we reach that artifact, we're going to face whatever challenges it presents together. Because that's who we are. That's what makes us human. A moment of silence followed her words. Then, slowly, applause began to build. The tension in the room dissipated as crew members from both sides of the argument began to shake hands, apologizing and reconciling. Captain Okoye approached Arya as she climbed down from the table. Nice speech, Doctor, she said with a smile. Remind me to put you in charge of morale. Arya chuckled, feeling the weight lift from her shoulders. I think I'll stick to xenoarchaeology, Captain, but thank you. As the Odyssey entered the final leg of its journey to Kepler 442 bits, the crew worked with renewed purpose and unity. They knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Finally, after months of travel, the blue-green orb of Kepler 442 bits appeared on their view screens. As they entered orbit, Aria felt a mix of anticipation and dread. The artifact waited for them on the surface, and with it, the ultimate test of humanity's worth. As the Odyssey prepared for planetary descent, Aria stood at the viewport once more, watching the alien world grow larger. Whatever happened next would determine the fate of Earth and humanity's place in the cosmos. The journey had changed them all, pushed them to their limits and beyond. But as Aria looked at the faces of her crewmates, determined, curious, and unafraid, she knew that they were ready for whatever lay ahead. The test was about to begin in earnest, and humanity was ready to prove its worth to the stars. The revelation. The Odyssey's descent through Kepler 442 bits' atmosphere was anything but smooth. Turbulence rocked the ship, and strange electromagnetic pulses played havoc with their instruments. As they broke through the cloud cover, the alien landscape came into view, familiar yet fundamentally changed. "My God," Dr. Yuki Tanaka gasped, staring at the redouts. "The entire ecosystem has altered since we were last here. It's like the planet itself is evolving." Aria felt a chill run down her spine. "The artifact," she whispered, "it must be affecting the entire planet." Captain Okoi's voice came over the comm, steady despite the circumstances. "All hands, brace for landing. This is going to be rough." The Odyssey touched down with a bone-jarring thud, kicking up a cloud of iridescent dust. As it settled, the crew got their first clear view of their surroundings. The once barren landscape was now teeming with alien life. Bioluminescent plants pulsed in rhythm, and strange, crystalline structures jutted from the ground. And there, dominating the horizon, stood the artifact. It had grown, if that was even possible for something of its nature. Its surface rippled with cascading patterns of light, as if anticipating their arrival. As the away team prepared to disembark, tension hung thick in the air. They had trained for this moment for months, but nothing could truly prepare them for what lay ahead. Aria led the way, her heart pounding as she stepped onto the alien soil. The ground seemed to hum beneath her feet, resonating with the same energy that emanated from the artifact. As they approached the massive structure, its surface began to shift and change. A doorway appeared, just as it had during their first encounter. But this time, it felt different. More deliberate. "It's waiting for us," Aria said, her voice barely above a whisper. Captain Okoi nodded grimly. "Then let's not keep it waiting. Stay alert, everyone. We don't know what to expect." They entered the artifact, and immediately, Aria knew something was different. The interior had changed, transformed into a vast spherical chamber. At its center floated a pulsing orb of pure energy, tendrils of light reaching out in all directions. Before anyone could react, the orb flared brightly. Aria felt a presence in her mind, vast, ancient, and utterly alien. "You have returned," a voice echoed in their heads. "The trial begins." Suddenly, the chamber around them dissolved into a swirling vortex of images and sensations. Aria saw flashes of Earth's history, its triumphs and failures, its moments of great kindness and terrible cruelty. She saw other worlds, other civilizations, rising and falling in the blink of an cosmic eye. "What is this?" Dr. Webb shouted over the cacophony of sensory input. "Some kind of simulation." Aria shook her head, struggling to maintain her focus. "No, it's more than that. It's a test of comprehension, of empathy." As if in response to her words, the visions coalesced into a single horrifying image, a massive, shadowy entity that seemed to devour light itself. Aria felt an overwhelming sense of dread. "The void," the alien voice intoned. "The great destroyer. It comes for all in time. Many have fallen before it. Will you stand?" Captain Okoi stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear Aria could see in her eyes. "We will face any threat to protect our home, our people." "Brave words," the voice replied. But the void cannot be defeated by weapons or courage alone. It is entropy incarnate, the end of all things. To stand against it requires more. The visions shifted again, showing Earth, but not as it was. Arya saw a world ravaged by war, environmental collapse, and societal breakdown. She saw humanity turning on itself in fear and desperation. "This is what awaits if you fail," the voice said. "The void does not need to reach your world to destroy it. Fear will do that for us." Arya felt despair threatening to overwhelm her. How could they possibly stand against such a threat? What hope did humanity have in the face of cosmic annihilation? But then something changed. The visions of Earth's destruction were replaced by images of hope, of people coming together in the face of adversity, of scientific breakthroughs and acts of kindness. Arya saw the crew of the Odyssey, working together to overcome the challenges they have faced on their journey. She understood then what the test truly was. It wasn't about raw power or advanced technology. It was about the strength of the human spirit, the ability to face the unknown with courage, compassion, and creativity. Taking a deep breath, Arya stepped forward. "We may not be able to defeat the void through force," she said, her voice growing stronger with each word. "But that doesn't mean we can't stand against it. Humanity's greatest strength isn't in our weapons or our technology. It's in our ability to adapt, to learn, to grow." She gestured to her crewmates. "Look at us. We've come farther than we ever thought possible. We've faced challenges that would have broken us individually, but together, we've overcome them all. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us worthy." The alien presence seemed to consider her words. The chamber fell silent, the swirling visions fading away. For a moment that felt like an eternity, they waited. Then, slowly, the energy orb began to change. It split into countless smaller spheres, each one containing what looked like a star system in miniature. They spread out, forming a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. "You've shown wisdom beyond your years," the voice said, now sounding almost pleased. "The trial is not ended, but you have passed its first stage. Behold, the legacy of the Guardians." Arya and her crewmates stared in awe at the galactic map. Certain points pulsed with light, other artifacts, she realized, scattered throughout the galaxy. "We are the last of the Guardians," the voice explained. "Long ago, we faced the void and turned it back, but at great cost. We knew it would return, so we seeded the galaxy with these trials, seeking species with the potential to stand against the darkness." The map zoomed in on Earth's solar system. Your world now stands at a crossroads. The knowledge contained within this artifact can elevate your civilization, prepare you for the challenges ahead, but it can also destroy you if wielded unwisely. Captain Okoye stepped forward. "How do we proceed?" "That choice is yours," the voice replied. "But know this, you do not stand alone. Other species have passed our trials. They await you among the stars, ready to stand together against the coming darkness." With a flash of light, the galactic map disappeared, replaced by a smaller handheld device that floated before them. "This contains the knowledge you have earned, and the means to contact your new allies. Use it wisely. The true test still lies ahead." As Arya reached out to take the device, she felt the alien presence begin to fade. "Remember," it said, its voice growing distant. "Unity is strength. Curiosity is the path to understanding. And in the face of darkness, it is not the absence of fear that defines courage, but the will to face it." With those final words, the presence vanished. The artifact's interior began to shift and change, returning to its original state. As they emerged into the alien sunlight, Arya felt a profound sense of both accomplishment and responsibility. They had passed the first test, but the real challenge was just beginning. They had to return to Earth to prepare humanity for its new role in the galaxy and for the threat that loomed on the cosmic horizon. As the Odyssey prepared for its journey home, Arya stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. They seemed different now, filled with both promise and peril. She thought of the allies waiting for them out there, of the knowledge they now carried, and of the monumental task that lay ahead. "Are we ready for this?" Dr. Tanaka asked, coming to stand beside her. Arya smiled, feeling a sense of determination and hope. "I don't know," she admitted, "but I do know this: whatever comes next, we'll face it together. As a crew, as a species, and now, as part of something even greater." Captain Okoi joined them, her eyes fixed on the starfield ahead. "Plot a course for home," she ordered. "We've got a lot of work to do." As the Odyssey lifted off, leaving Kepler 442 bits behind, Arya felt a surge of excitement. They were carrying not just knowledge, but hope for Earth and for all sentient life in the galaxy. The journey home would be long, and the challenges ahead daunting. But as Arya looked at her crewmates, she knew that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. They had been tested, and they had proven their worth. The true adventure was just beginning.